Welcome to Kess. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got Urborg and Temple of Epiphany. Yes, we're going to keep on this one because, and I'll kind of explain here in a second, we've got Inferno Titan, which is a pretty good thing. And so I'll kind of explain what I guess it's kind of like plan D for the deck, the win condition, here in a second. So, plus we got two lands in Arcane Signet. That's another good option for us too. So, let's go and lead off with Temple of Epiphany. Let's get the Scry going, a little bit of Scurry. Maybe if we're lucky, just a little bit of fever. Preordained, do we want? Yeah, I'll actually leave that on top. That's not too bad at all. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yes, welcome to Kess. Some little twin magic. I hope you're excited. I have not played Kess in a very long time. So if I'm a little rusty or I don't see lines of play, just giving you a heads up, that's what's happening. But I enjoy playing Kess Twin. And I'll kind of jump into an impromptu deck tech here in just a second. So let's lead off with that Urborg. Let's go for Arcane Signet, and that's going to allow us to go for a little bit of card filtering with Preordain. Impulse is a good option. So we thought Scour, and then, yeah, actually, kind of like both of those. So let's put Impulse on top of our library, put Thought Scour on top of our library, and both of those are pretty good. So it's a good way to get our graveyard kickstarted, and then we're going to go and pass the turn over our opponent. So, but let's get our commanders out of the way first, and then I'll jump into what we've got going on today. So we're playing Kess, Dissident Mage. Flying during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast this way, we put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Playing against Gyrus, Waker of Corpses, which haven't actually played against him or her. I don't know how many heads there are on there, but we'll see. And if we're trying to make the land drop for the turn, let's go ahead and go for Impulse right now. And Splinter Twin. Oh, the rest go on the bottom, so we can still grab that. So let's grab ourselves Polluted Delta. As much as I want to go for that Splinter Twin, we've got Vampiric Tutor for Splinter Twin. So we're going to put those on the bottom in any order. Let's make the land drop for the turn. And then, yeah, we can still Vampiric Tutor at another point and still go for Thought Scour too. So yeah, let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and pass the turn and then kick it back over there. So we're playing Kess, exile, instant, or source. Oh, excuse me, Gyrus. So whenever Gyrus enters the battlefield, I think that's how you say it. If it's wrong, I do apologize, but that's how it's going to be for the video. Enters the battlefield with a number of +1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. Then whenever Gyrus attacks, you may exile target creature card with lesser power from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, and it's tapped and attacking, exile that token at the beginning of the next at the end of combat. So there we go. All right, opponent's gonna go for Marin. Yeah, let's do this. So we'll go for. Do we want a Vampiric Tutor already? We can actually just go for Thought Scour if we want to. Yeah, let's do this. So let's go ahead and actually, so just so we don't mill out Splinter Twin, let's go ahead and go for Thought Scour just to kind of kick the get our graveyard kickstarted just a little bit. Pestermite, okay. Ooh, and then we run into Faithless Looting. And then do we want to go for Vampiric Tutor already? That could be a good option. We do have Obnixilis to go for the -3 on Marin if we're not really feeling a lot of graveyard from our opponent. Let's just kind of see what this Faithless Looting ends up getting for us too at this point right now. So let's go and crack. We'll go and crack Polluted Delta, because either way, if we do end up going Vampiric Tutor at some point, we need to just go and get this one cracked. So let's get this popped out. And I think, since we do have, actually, we've got Urborg out there, we'll just go and grab Steam Vents. I mean, because either way, that kind of keeps us open. Not going to pay 2 life, and then let our opponent get in for 3. So it's going to put us down to 26. And then they pass it back over to us. So, all right, so we run into Dreadbore. Let's Faithless Loot at this point right now, just to see if we can't hit a land drop, because that's kind of, okay, that is definitely not the land drop that we're looking for. We have to discard 2 cards, and I think definitely get rid of Delicate Aether Mage is a good option for us, but I like holding on to Arcane Denial. I guess we just get rid of Fact or Fiction. Yeah, either way, I kind of like both of those. Now, that keeps us open on Tutor and Arcane Denial. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's just go and pass the turn. And unfortunately, we could go for Faithless Looting again and draw a couple more cards and discard them. But I want to be a little bit interactive on our opponent's turn. Let's say they do end up going for Gyrus. I it's going to be a pretty good chunk of mana, or they've got some good creatures on the bound. At least just want to have some sort of answer for if they get down a bigger threat for next turn, and then we can try to sequence a Vampiric Tutor. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be one of the people who polishes Kess's little vials before each game, we have a whole little crew that makes sure they're all very pretty and then they're perfectly balanced so she can float them. Head over to MTGOTraders. She will take care of you. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT or inkgaming.com/Jolt if it's not available yet to get 10% off your order off anything off the website, which includes stuff that I didn't make too. So if you just hankering for some play mats, head on over there and support the channel out at the same time. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below and get your name in the credits of my videos. Or if you'd like to get your hands on some sweet tokens of the month, whatever that may be, make sure that you're a patron of my Patreon. You will be automatically entered into the giveaway each month. So there we go. And I'm going to change them up each month too. And so if you want to be a patron for a month and then you don't like next month and you don't want to be, hey, that's totally get it. Whatever floats your boat. So, but yeah, it's fun to make. I've been making tokens for about a year, and I don't know, it just feels good. Oh, we got Cradle over there. This is quickly turning very bad. We do have Toxic Deluge in here, yeah, so I think we just need to hit the reset button. So let's go for Vampiric Tutor. I wanted to grab, at least get a land or something else to kind of hit the reset button, but we need to do this. So let's grab ourselves Toxic Deluge. There we go. It's going to go on top, and we're going to Toxic 4. Looks like we can get away with 4. Yeah, Toxic for 4, that'll be pretty good. And we do have lands in here, I do promise. We just hadn't run into them yet. So we're going to go Toxic for 4. And that's going to cut them off. Itlamok, which is going to be a very good option. And they can recast it. But the good thing about Gyrus is that it's just basically going to be an exile effect. Now, it will have haste, which is going to be a little bit of a bummer. That's not going to be too fun. So, and then while our opponent, I think they're going to go ahead and sack. No, they only have one creature to sack. So they're going to be able to get a scurry out of the way, but at least it's going to be a little bit of a bottleneck with Gyrus. Now, here's the downside. The only thing is they're going to have anger now, so they're going to be able to immediately start swinging in and kind of going for that. So let's let them get this stack out of the way. Okay, so we're going to be able to wipe everybody out. They got a lot of scries and a lot of scurries, and so let's see what's in store for us. So they, like I said, they can still go for Gyrus and brings, nothing too bad out. We're looking at like a Marin token potentially. The only downside is if they just completely, oh goodness. Oh, this has turned very bad. I don't think we can stop that now. I mean, well, no, we've got, okay, we've got some options for it. Well, then they go for Gyrus, but okay, we got Bug-Faced on this one. Now we know what it's like to lose to Bug-Face. Let's go Dreadbore. And then we're going to go for Go Through the Throat, get some Kess Extermination going, and then we pass the turn. But no, I think we've got it. Well, either way, we're sitting at 6, which is not that good. And then I think they're going to be able to. It's still not looking good, but yeah, to hit with the giant bug face with anger out of the graveyard, that was pretty rough. All right, so we've got Nyx Weaver coming across. It's going to be a 2/3. We'll see what else they come down with. Itlamok can at least tap for 1 or 1 off for each creature that they control, and then we'll kind of go from there. Yeah, it kind of stinks that we weren't hitting too many lands off of this one, so it's going to put us down to 4. Let's see, we rip into Thran Dynamo, which is still not really what we want to see. We can always go for Jace, maybe that kind of choose our opponent's turn up a little bit if they don't want to swing it at us. So we're going to go for Jace. Let's go for the Brainstorm ability, draw 3 cards. Hopefully we rip into a land. There we go, hit a fetch land. So let's put Gyarados on top, Water Your Grave on top. We'll get down Arid Mesa. Yeah, we'll still go ahead and crack it, because that puts us at 3, but it looks like this is probably going to be a good game. So let's go grab Volcanic Island, and then anything else, we'll pass it back over to our opponent. So, yeah, I need to build Gyrus. It's been a, I never got around to building him, and I don't know, it just always seemed kind of weird with that exile effect out of the graveyard. But I mean, I guess if you get your graveyard going and you just kind of use Gyrus as kind of like a mid-range threat, I mean, if there's times where you get Bellfire Dragon out of the graveyard for free, or you get Giant Bugface out of the graveyard for free, that's, that's something that sticks around, or especially if you get that kind of repeating, like the Jelly of the Month Club with Giant Bugface, that's definitely that. And we got old Gyrus coming down. And opponent's going to get it on this one, so that's going to be good. Unless they send everybody at Jace. Nope, they're swinging it at us. So Good game to our opponent. We'll see if they're going to bring something back out of the graveyard. Our opponent just said, "Oh, I missed lethal." But hey, they're going to get it on the back end. That's what happens. So, hey, just simply just getting sad robot out of the graveyard. That's a pretty good feeling too. And good game. And so they're going to get it on this one. That's going to put us down to a fairly decent negative number. Should be 1, 2, 6. Yep, put us down to 14. So if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Kess, Twin Mage. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I like this a lot better. We're going to keep on this one. Earlier, we just played. I don't know how these videos are going to play out, so I'll try to sequence them to where I don't want to give away too much, but I like this opening hand. This is pretty good. We've got Temple of Epiphany. We have 3 lands. We have Young Pyromancer, which is going to allow us to hopefully generate some instant and sorceries, and we're on the play. This is very, very nice. So let's go for Temple of Epiphany, and let's get that scry going. A little scurry, a little fever. Ooh, Imperial Recruiter. Do we want Imperial Recruiter? That's going to allow us to... I mean, I guess we could end up getting like something like Jace to kind of start looting. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll put that on top. It gives us another body. It's always nice to have bodies on the battlefield. And so anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent and kick it back over there. So we're playing Kess, Twin Mage. Flying, during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast this, so you put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Playing its Gyrus, Waker of Corpses. It's going to be so hard to... to stop that for some reason. Let's go Bloodstained Mire. I mean, we really don't have much of a need to just slam a Arcane Signet just yet, and we're going to be able to go for Imperial Recruiter. So I think if we kind of need to keep up with mana. I think that's going to be an important thing right now. So we have nothing to do with Young Pyromancer. So yeah, so let's do that. So let's crack Bloodstained Mire. Let's grab ourselves a... let's grab Underground Sea. Let's go for Arcane Signet. There we go. Have that come down for 1 and then pass it back over to our opponent. Yeah, at this point, with our opponent going Mana Crypt into Tribe Elder, we need to keep up with the mana as quickly as possible. And so simply just rolling out Young Pyromancer with not much to follow it up with, other than hoping that we can catch something with Arcane Denial, doesn't really sound like that fun of a game plan. So, but yeah, playing against Gyrus, they get to exile something out of the graveyard and it gets exiled at the end of combat. So, there we go. We'll give a shout out to our sponsors. Yeah, we'll do that in just a second because they've got a lot of good stuff down. Ooh, then we run into delay. So let's go Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, there we go. That'll be good. All right, Chromatic Lantern, Cascade Bluffs. That's going to keep us open on Arcane and Delay, which is a very good option for us. And then next turn, we'll try to go for Young Pyromancer and set up a little bit better board state for us. So let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be one of the people who gets Kess's little bottles ready before each commander game, you know, there's a lot of things that go into that. You have to make sure they're balanced in a good way. You need to make sure that they're polished. You want to make sure that lid stays on there so they don't spill out whenever she's rotating them, whatever that may be. If you want to be a wizard stagehand, head over to MTGOTraders. They've got you covered. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off anything off the website, or inkgaming.com/JOLT if it hasn't been made yet. If that doesn't work, then just use coupon code JOLT. And last but not least, I started at Patreon. So if you'd like to get your name in the credits of my videos, or if you can get your hands on some sweet tokens, if you're a patron of my Patreon, you're automatically entered into the token giveaway each month. So there we go. Yeah, I think we still want to end up going for... Now, here's the cool thing. If we end up going Delay on Gyrus, that'll be good because it's a 0 ability. So they're going to have to put it back to the command zone. Yeah, because with Delay, because either way, they're going to have to go back to the command zone. That's going to get that commander tax going back up. Okay. I'm digging that. Oh, and they hit a land drop too. So let's have Flooded Strand come down. Yeah, I think we still just end up going Young Pyromancer because we're just going to kind of just slow roll this one, hold on to Arcane Denial until we absolutely have to use it, and then we'll see exactly what we end up grabbing with Imperial Recruiter. But yeah, after that last token spot, it's officially free time. Let's have some fun. Now, if you haven't seen Kess before, what is this deck? This is Grixis Twin. If you don't know Twin is Splinter Twin. It's an enchantment that makes a copy of the enchanted creature, and then you use some sort of creature that enters the battlefield and untaps something to go infinite. You know, you just declare how many tokens that you want to make, and then you swing in for lethal combat. So, it's kind of the name of the game. Typically, I don't play with a lot of combos in Commander, but one of my favorite combos when I used to play Modern was Twin before it got banned. And so I just kind of wanted to have a home to play Twin, and this is where Kess kind of worked. You know, Grixis Twin, I enjoy playing three-color kind of control grindy games, and Kess being able to play it out of the graveyard, just kind of digging. Because one of the cool things about Kess and Twin is that with Kess, you can get down to Kess, and Kess becomes her own little threat by herself. She's kind of like off by her, like in this little glass case. Your opponent definitely wants to deal with Kess. To make sure that we're not utilizing our graveyard. So with that out of the way, that kind of keeps us open as far as trying to close the game out with Splinter Twin combo. So you're kind of like rolling Kess out, making them try to deal with Kess, keep her off the battlefield. Once they've burned a lot of their removal, then we can simply try to close the game out with the Splinter Twin combo, which is always a lot of fun. So our opponent is hung up on this Mana Crypt trigger, so I'm just kind of pause the video real quick and see what happens, and then we'll jump back into the game. Okay, so there we go. Opponent, I don't think they necessarily went away from the computer, but they something happened. So they're back into the game now. So they won the flip on that Mana Crypt trigger, and then we'll see what we can go for with this Arcane Denial. But yeah, it kind of works out to where we have two different strategies that aren't that different. Kess is going to help us propel us, whether it's grabbing a tutor out of the graveyard to recast it, and at the same time she's going to eat removal. And it just kind of worked out really well. Now, the second win condition for the deck that I really love, a lot of fun. Okay, so that's Uncle Gary. They can sack it and dredge it. Yeah, I think if the bottleneck is Gyrus, or at least one of their bigger threats, I think we're going to be okay. We can survive an Uncle Gary Grave Troll. And Uncle Gary, if you don't know about Uncle Gary, it's been a long time since we've seen Uncle Gary on the battlefield. With Golgari Grave Troll, somebody thought I called him Uncle Gary, and I was like, no, I didn't, but I think that's so funny. And so this was probably like a few months into me doing my channel. So whoever you were that asked if I called him Uncle Gary, I don't know if you still watch or not, but thank you, because every time I see Golgari Grave Troll, I always think of Uncle Gary. So there we go. Let's go and crack Flooded Strand. We're going to grab we do have Chromatic Lantern, but we will, I guess, be just a little bit cautious and still end up grabbing a blue-black sword. So let's grab Watery Grave, have that come into play tapped, and see what we can grab off this Imperial Recruit. Ooh, Vampiric Tutor. Okay, so we go for Imperial Recruiter. That's going to allow us to grab an extra creature, and then we'd have to tap out for Jace, which cuts us off Arcane Denial. Or we can go for Kess, but we don't really have that good of a graveyard kick started. So let's do this. Let's just go for Imperial Recruiter. We're just going to try to slowly generate some value to where but hopefully with Vampiric Tutor, Arcane Denial, we can get something done. So there we go. All right, so let's grab this. And we're going to go for Imperial Recruiter. We'll get this popped out and see exactly what we end up grabbing. And the cool thing about us not actually getting down a creature just yet with Imperial Recruiter is that hopefully we can... between Arcane Denial, Vampiric Tutor, and Young Pyromancer, we're going to be able to generate some tokens, which is going to be pretty nice. So, since we do have Vampiric Tutor, so we can actually Imperial Recruiter for a infinite combo, and we might end up doing that. I think if we're going to, because the longer this game goes on, and as much as I'd like to be real grindy with this, we definitely kind of need that. So, let's grab... Yeah, let's grab Pestermite, because that's going to be able to... Or we can go for Deceiver. Yeah, let's grab Deceiver. I think that'll be good. So we're going to grab Deceiver. That's going to go into our hand. We can flash that in. And then with a Vampiric Tutor, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I think we can flash that in and still untap a mana and try to go for it. I think, we might end up going for that, because, that is the name of the game. It may feel kind of cheap to go for that in 1v1, but, hey, this is the deck that we're piloting, and that's one of the ways that we can kind of close the game out. Because the longer that we let a graveyard deck like this Jund deck go, the harder it is for us. So that's kind of basically not what it's going to be an uphill battle at this point right now. So we've got Arcane Denial that's going to give us a few extra tokens. We've got Vampiric Tutor, and then we've got Deceiver untapping one of our lands to give us the necessary mana. So unless they've got spot removal, we should be able to close it out. So that's going to be, especially if they're going to get the Uncle Gary exile going, or not exile, but the dredging option going, that's not going to be good for us. So now if they end up going for Gyrus, since we did get that commander tax going, the good thing is it's not going to have that number of counters on it. So that's going to be a good option for us to kind of start to chew up some of those counters on Gyrus. So let's see what they're tapping out for. That's going to be Gyrus. Yeah, I still think we end up going Arcane Denial. So let's go Arcane Denial. That's going to be blue, and then Temple of Epiphany. And that's going to give us an extra elemental token. And we're going to counter that one again. Let's go for Vampiric Tutor. And we're going to go for a... grab ourselves Splinter Twin. There we go. Click OK. All right, Poto's going to scoop it up on this one. So we sent Gyrus back to the command zone. So with Vampiric Tutor, what's going to end up happening is that we go Vampiric Tutor, we're going to grab ourselves Splinter Twin. And the way it's going to work is that since our opponent's completely tapped out, they have no mana, we're going to be able to close the game out next turn. So the way it works is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. We flash in Deceiver, and we use Deceiver to untap one of our lands. And that's going to give us the extra mana that we need off of Vampiric Tutor. We put Deceiver onto, not Deceiver, we put Deceiver onto Deceiver. We put Splinter Twin onto Deceiver, and then we just make a bunch of tokens and untap it, and then rinse and repeat from there. So there we go. We're able to get the Splinter Twin win without having to click through that entire option. So pretty nice to see that. So if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.